Hello and welcome back to the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every last Friday of the month. I hope you're able to join me. But I also do this, I do pick a card readings. And this one's a little bit different than my normal theme. I do a lot with healing tarot. I do some with love tarot as well. But this one I was kind of encouraged to do through a series of signs and actually some dreams. What dangers or obstacles lie ahead? What dangers or obstacles lie ahead? There are 4 piles in a pick a card. In just a moment, you're going to have some time just to concentrate, see which one calls out to you. I ask that you do not pick these piles by always pick 1, 2, 3, or 4. Instead, take a deep breath, open your eyes, and see which one really calls out to you. It really should switch around. It marries better with my particular reading style because I'm an empathic and intuitive reader. So take a moment, see which one really calls out to you. That's the message you're most meant to receive, and I will see you at the time of your reading. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 1, then this is your reading. I'm adjusting that camera ever so slightly because I accidentally just hit it with my thumb. We're going to put the number 1 over there. There are, of course, time stamps in the description box down below. Before I get started, hey, don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. I was very much guided to do this. We have multiple different types of oracle cards. I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Night, and then we'll use other oracle decks as the reading reveals the need for them. Let's get going here. I have Flute, disappointment in a friend or lover. Okie doke. Somebody may not be exactly who they're saying they are in your life. I have Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Well, I love getting that at the very top of this reading. Know that you can meet the challenges ahead. One of the things with the Flute to be aware of is don't rely on others' guidance as much as you rely on your own. And then I have Kangaroo, unsettled times, need to plan ahead. I am going to agree with that. I actually had filmed what's coming up for the rest of 2022 reading that I am not going to put up because it was so, we've got that background noise. I always hear traffic noise from where I am. It was so all over the map, revealing some conflicts. And so, unsettled times, disappointment in a friend or lover. You really know the true nature of a relationship through how it weathers obstacles. I have seek your destiny. Well, it's a very purposeful energy for you. We're going to find out what this has to do with. We have the masculine. Okay. It looks like the friend or lover, the Divine Masculine card from the Goddess of the Moon Oracle. And then I have Fated to Suffer. Oh my goodness. Remember, the Fated to Suffer energy, this is from the Dark Mirror deck. It's a shadow work deck. Suffering is not brought to us as a punishment. It is actually an opportunity to learn, and it does have to do with our own attachment to outcomes. If you look at every challenge as an opportunity to explore your strengths and to learn more, it helps. Please keep in mind the divine doesn't have it in for anybody. It can feel that way when it takes a little while for things to come together. But the fated to suffer, it's like there is a fateful occurrence. I don't know that it's personal or if it's the overall energy, but that disappointment in a friend or lover with the masculine energy, let's see what's going on here. Understanding. And then I have fellow travelers. Support is all around you. Okay, so the only truly negative energy I've got here is is anything truly negative? Yeah, sure. Like we put a lot of pressure on people to be like, view everything as a positive experience. And listen, I'm all for growth and understanding, but I'm very much against what, is really best referred to as toxic spirituality and toxic positivity. Allow yourself to react to things appropriately. Just don't get stuck in the energy of it. And honest to goodness, it looks as if you're going to come through everything just fine. Let's find out what this has to do with. What obstacles or dangers are ahead? What dangers or obstacles are ahead for pile number 1? I love that through the support of people that maybe have not been your primary support group, you're going to be able to triumph over something. Belief in self is going to be an important thing, and your ability to connect to higher self with the Seek Your Destiny energy is there as well. Let's go 1 and 2 and 3. I do shuffle these off camera beforehand as well. I love to shuffle. I'm just somebody who gets energy flow through that. The King of Swords in the upright. That's air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It's one of the cards for a judge as well. Then I have the 10 of Wands in reverse as being relieved of a burden. This is clarity and truth. I have the 8 of Pentacles in the upright, which is learning a lesson. Then I have the 8 of Swords in the upright, so 8-8. That is progress and change. Remember, things can come through as download codes as well, particularly when we get repetition, one after the other. Pay attention to the numbers in your tarot card readings as well. I have the 2 of Cups in the upright. I have the 10 of Cups in reverse. I have the Ace of Wands in the upright. New beginnings. I like the energy of the aces. We do have the disappointment in a friend or lover reflected here and here. Somebody's choices are going to let you down is what it looks like. I have the Queen of Cups in reverse, but you'll be able to rely on your own intuition. I have the Moon in the upright. Okay. And then I have the 5 of Cups in the upright, and then we're taking 11 on this one because it's one of the cards for spirit messages, 1111. And then I have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. It looks like you're going to be in disagreement, like you're not going to have the same potentially values, because this is a no path forward, learning something that blocks a path, potentially about a friend or potentially a lover. This is showing up with a masculine energy. Remember, we all contain masculine and feminine energy. It doesn't really have to do with gender or gender identification. Again, this is somebody who's very, I kind of want to say cold and analytical when it's like they retreat into that. It's like it's where they go to hide, to justify actions sometimes. It looks like you're in disagreement over a greater, like, there's a situation that calls upon you to kind of decide who you are. And it appears to be in something that may be work-related with this Seek Your Destiny energy. It's like you want to do something to help somebody else, and the person that you really thought would have your back kind of doesn't. This is a frustration card, something that can't go anywhere. The Knight of Wands in reverse is frequently a misuse of passion card. This is a new endeavor. The thing is that you're going to be a little bit confused. And again, this is a lost card. This is a lost card. It does look like maybe there is no path forward with somebody that you have relied on in the past. The 10 of Cups in reverse is a lack of emotional fulfillment. Sometimes it's a lack of happiness. Now, remember, I'm normally Miss Positivity in my readings, but, I was asked to, what dangers and perils lie ahead. And that doesn't mean that's all that lies ahead. So keep that part in mind. It's just that there's a flip side to every coin. And there are struggles kind of like being indicated in the greater world energy, that fated to suffer energy, and unsettled times, the need to plan ahead. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There has been a strange sort of, seduction, passion, and romance await. Okay, this really, remember, this is not a yay, yippee, skippy type of reading. It is about looking for red flags. It is about keeping your guard up. It is about trusting appropriately. The romance and passion await. I don't have a cheating energy here. But be careful if you've just embarked on a relationship with somebody. It looks like there's more to that person than you might know. Conversely, it kind of looks like it really might be a romantic pairing. Like you just part ways on what you think is right. But you do have this triumph over adversity, and then you have the support is all around you. The support that you do not find with this particular individual is apparently reflected in, because the 5 of Cups is about concentrating on the loss, while there are actually things that remain. I have the Shield, you are safe from harm, and I want one more, the Maiden, a new relationship blossoms. All right, so for some of you, it really is going to be a little bit careful. If you've just embarked on a relationship with somebody, they may not be everything that they are saying that they are. There is this weird kind of like no path forward with a long-term relationship. Remember, it takes a while to get to know somebody. Okay, we can all get swept off our feet, and that's a fun stage, but remind yourself until you've really known somebody for at least 6 months, you don't really know them. You just don't. People are on their best behavior. And I've got this kind of like a new relationship that is, and that fated to suffer energy, and this is a feeling like victimized energy as well. Be careful, just be careful, particularly around new relationships. And that the struggle appears to be in what you perceive to be right and what you act on as being right. And remember, your answers are right for you. Don't let anybody determine your course for you but you. It appears to be in basically, I kind of want to say we have different values. This is showing up as some form of romantic pairing. So here we go. I've got Red Squirrel. Gather your resources now, for they will sustain you through coming change. Second energy on that. Listen, because of our weird, world sometimes, it's always a good idea to have extra supplies on hand, dried goods, in case supply chains are disrupted. I do not have like a full-blown conflict card on this. Like I don't have like, oh, look, it's a war. And I'm not trying to be flippant. I just, I've been getting really weird cards. What I do have is that somebody that you want to be able to rely on is not as reliable as you want them to be. And that essentially, here, we're going to take the hidden truth cards as well. Okay, who's dropping out? You didn't see my tears. What else do we have? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to take the Infinity Oracle deck on this as well. It does appear to have something to do with a personal relationship. I can't do this. I trusted you. I watch your social media. All right. I watch your social media. I trusted you. You didn't see my tears, and I can't do this. It just looks like somebody's going to let you down. And something that, here's what I think it really is. I think you're assuming you have the same values as somebody, and maybe you just kind of don't. And that's not like, I understand that how likely is this to be popular? Not very. I don't have a heartbreak card on this. I don't have, the only thing is that is a card of loss, and that is a card of potentially grieving. But it doesn't have to be catastrophic. When you're really healed, honest to goodness, finding out that somebody wasn't who you kind of thought they were going to be is more of a lesson. Like, you let it go more easily because you don't invest in the story you were telling yourself about somebody, but rather in the way that they behave around you. Remember, I love tarot. But if the bulk of what you believe about somebody is coming to you through tarot card readings, please judge them by their actions and words towards you. It is really a very important thing. We can all have underlying issues. We can all have work to do. But this is showing up as somebody who kind of just can't carry their load as things get tougher. And you find out that they're a lot colder as a person. We have Don't Give Up. Oh my goodness. Black magic, apparently a dark and evil works done got dead, you are safe. You are showing up as being safe from harm. But the greater world or something around you, and is the greater world like the global situation? Not necessarily. It can be a work situation. It can be a personal situation. You're showing up as safe from harm. You're being told to take a few precautions around having enough supplies in just in case you are facing some kind of we just recently in the United States had a baby formula shortage. It's things like that. If there's something that you know that you're going to need, please don't make a run on toilet paper. If there's something that you know that you need, maybe take the steps over the next 6 weeks or so to get it into stock. And then I have Hell Yes. Knowing what you need makes it all right. And then Tribe members. the support you are looking for comes more from the people around you. And it looks to me that with like I have no energy of you being crushed. I have no energy of you like weeping copious tears. What I have is this energy of this lesson learned about not trying to proceed with something. When somebody shows you who they are now, you're like, yeah, I see that, and I'm goodbye. Like, it really looks like you've done all this work to only allow the worthy to remain. And it is the greater overall situation that causes stress that reveals to you something about somebody that you don't like them as much as you thought you did. Like, there's something far colder and like weirdly judgmental around this. Let's get going. 1 and 2 and 3. And remember, the reading did say dangers and perils. So it was unlikely to be good news. Here we go. Generous offer, inner strength, take a risk, new love, healing old wounds, temptation. I want one more. Good luck. You look great. You look like you're temptation, healing old wounds. Honest to goodness. Honest to goodness, everything else looks wonderful. It looks like the support of friends and potentially family, and like the family that you've put together over a journey of trying to attract those who are like-minded. It looks like all of those energies are coming through for you. The only thing I have, and I just have so little true distress around it. The only thing I've got is that somebody that it doesn't even look like you're super invested yet, but like this energy is followed by this. 2 of Cups, you're disappointed in somebody. This is a new beginning on something. The Queen of Cups, like your instincts, the Moon, there's something hidden about somebody that you've been trying to invest in either as a friend or potentially a romantic partner. I have deception. Okay, well, 2. Planning and action, teacher. You have learned the lessons that you need to be safe. And remember, what I'm always telling people is, particularly if you've been healing from potentially toxic relationship dynamics, is that we get these like opportunities to test our new skills. There is some kind of weird strain and like not full-on deprivation in the greater world. But what I'm seeing also is quite simply that, like, whereas this person, in the past you might have always wanted to rely on your partner. Like, we're a unit, we face everything together. The going gets tough, we get going together. And there's somebody who, and it does not, I'm going to tell you really honestly, it's like I can't get the vibe that you're in love with this person, but rather that like you're in maybe like with them. And it just doesn't lay you as low. It's like you've broken toxic cycles and you're more heartened by the support of the people around you. It's like it proves to you that you've overcome something. I think in the past, you might have tried to like keep soldiering through with somebody even after they had kind of revealed who they were on a level that wasn't necessarily in step with who you are. And in this one, I just kind of don't have that. Like, you've become your own protector. And remember, it is one of the ways that we are tested on a healing journey to see how much progress we've made. And it's a connection, but it does not appear to be a connection. Like, I don't think you know them super well yet. Because I don't have like, towers. I don't have all this shock. But what I do have is just kind of like this understanding card is that like it might be the second red flag versus the first, but it's a red flag on somebody that you were hoping to invest in, but like your gut instincts were telling you, I should wait, I should wait. And it does seem to have something to do with wanting to truly know your own power, the seek your destiny energy. If you were, and remember, there's nothing wrong with romance. Romance is absolutely delightful, but we can get caught in these kind of cycles around trying to have a romantic story despite like what we see in front of us sometimes. And when I say we, I mean me. My own relationship history is I've had tragic taste in men my whole life. I'm happily single right now. And I would prefer to stay happily single than waste my time with somebody who is not worthy. And that is a sign of being very healed. And there's something around seeing somebody with clarity, and like it's a momentary sting, but you're like, that's okay, that must mean you don't deserve me. And you turn towards the support of friends. And like, it's weird because I kind of don't have it as family, but that tribe member of like-minded people. Like there's something you want to get done in a time of deprivation, it kind of looks like. Like there may be some difficulties with supply chains. There may be some difficulties, particularly in the next 6 months or so. And I do say that pretty intentionally because I did ditch that reading because I was like, okay, I need to take a different focus on this. And it came out like this, is what dangers and perils lie ahead. And that's not to scare you about the next 6 months or so. It's just that there are challenges. And if you've almost felt like you were in training for the last couple of years, it's go time on figuring out why that was. Let's go ahead and close this out with a fortune reading card. Or two, depending on how many come out. Oh, there's one more thing I want to do. I like call this deck so many different names. Sometimes I'll be the, what the heck is it now deck? Because quite simply, we have honesty, grief. Okay. And what else do we have because of that? It can have these energies that are challenging, but they're all about the soul's destiny energy, which is about we're here to learn things. We all want to have this bright, beautiful experience, but remember, if it was always bright and beautiful, it would just become kind of tarnished and mundane. We need challenges to grow. We do. Guilt, and then one more on it, humor. I'm telling you, somebody kind of, somebody's not quite who they say they are. And it's not that they've misled you tremendously. It kind of looks like it's just like a nascent relationship, a new relationship. And that grief and guilt is like you kind of just, it's brief. It's a sting versus a stab. And you kind of move on to feeling your own power after that with that seek your destiny energy. Gather your resources now, for they will sustain you through coming change. Okay, so group number one, we have that change energy. Let's close this out with a fortune reading card. Don't put your blinders on just to have somebody by your side, because eventually, if you are, they will let you down so much worse. And I learned that the really hard way. All right, we've got death, and goals. Goals and death. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. We've got that with the Seek Your Destiny, a time of natural transition and transformation. It's like this just doesn't lay you low. Instead, it proves to you, I'm different, I have changed, I did grow, I am healed. You don't let somebody who isn't truly worthy of being there linger past the first significant red flag, which is how it should be. Don't explain away red flags. You'll have a much better experience. All right, group number one, be a little bit on the lookout for like somebody not quite being who they say they are. Remember, you're going to be fine, but disappointment in a friend or lover. Unsettled times need to plan ahead. Plan ahead a little bit and just, don't be paranoid, but like, don't try and explain something away. Don't try and explain something away. The things we try and explain away are usually, they're covering even greater things. And it's not to say jettison somebody at the first sign of danger. Everybody has foibles and things that they're growing on, but this is like a fundamental difference in how you view things and who you thought this person was. So group number one, that was what dangers and perils lie ahead. But remember, you're safe and you do have support around you. Take care, be well, be strong. You can do this. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 2, then this is your reading. Putting that over there so people can easily fast forward to their readings, but the timestamps are in the description box down below. Tarot of the night, I did a bunch of pre-shuffling because I'm using the same tarot deck on each pile. So it's going to seem like I don't shuffle for very long. It's because I shuffled for about 2 minutes off camera. We've got pre-selected oracle cards. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like the reading. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. Remember, this is unlikely to be like, yay, news, because it's dangers and perils that lie ahead. I had tried to film what lies ahead for the rest of 2022, and I actually ditched the reading because I realized I needed to refilm something, and this is what I was guided to film. So that's enough of a disclaimer. Chain of events that will affect your life. This is very much the energy that I was picking up, is that there's like a lot going on in the world around us. Turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. Well, okay. And then I have skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. All right. All right, let's find out. Do not fear the unknown. We do have a time of change. There are some things coming up that kind of try to be flexible, try to bend like the reed. Do not break, do not be brittle, do not be rigid in your expectations, and believe in yourself. I have release, okay. Whatever, try to remember that things are brought to us as we need them, as they are meant to be. We get very caught up in like what we want to have happen. And one of the ways to avoid suffering is to release attachments to outcomes, meaning that you take what comes to you and you look for the positive in it, you look for the lesson in it. I'm always on and on about, like, I really don't agree with toxic positivity where like you try and force somebody to be like, every change is good. Some changes are really difficult and disruptive and painful. But after you process that emotion, after you recognize what your feelings are, look for the lesson. So in that way, every change is good. But don't rush towards believing that everything that is brought to you is like incredibly positive, because negative emotions are not our enemy. They help warn us of danger. They help us understand our shadow side. They help us process and heal our pain. And that's that release energy. Black flower fragrance. Okay, this is from the Dark Mirror deck, which is a shadow work deck. Kind of remember that even in times of darkness, there are things of beauty to be found. You can have tremendous connection. You can like find a love of self and others, and you can experience joy in the most simple of things when it becomes harder to come by. In times of plenty, it's so easy for us to kind of take for granted everything around us. When there is this kind of time of a chain of events that will affect you, hidden secrets can harm you, and someone is behaving stupidly. As I'm always explaining, there is actually about a mile down the road a biker bar next to a vegan restaurant, and like they make a point of like peeling out as loudly as they can, I think to try and offend the poor owners of the vegan restaurant. I have loyalty, and then I have fogged in. Go slow, take time. Well, you're not alone as you face these challenges. There are things to celebrate and things to really take some pleasure in. Do not fear the unknown. If you can't, as things shift and change, do not, remember, as long as you have you have your biggest problem solving like hero at all times. All you really need is faith in self. All right, I have the Page of Pentacles in the upright. That is, remember, the pages are the beginnings of things. Pages get things started, knights carry energies forward, queens gestate them, they kind of bring them to fruition, and then they manifest with the kings. As I'm always saying, as like people like sometimes will get upset with me, gender's meaningless in tarot, because it truly is. We all contain masculine and feminine energies. It's nothing to do with how someone identifies unless it's a romance reading, and even then, sometimes not. But the Page of Pentacles is a card of learning new things, of starting new skills as well, as being able to like have faith in your ability to meet these earthly challenges, because the Pentacles are the earth energy. Of course, that is Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, but I don't have any reason to believe it is assigned to a person. honest to goodness, like I'm getting this weird sun energy off of this as well, like as in sun daughter, like that has a sun energy. And I hardly ever do. Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Listen, that can be disappointment. It can. Every now and then I see it as failure. I don't see it here. It's like decluttering energy. It's a trusting a process energy. It's a building energy, allowing things to take the time that they need. It's the Farmer's card that allows things to come into alignment. In this particular depiction, it's talking about chakras. I have the, what are you? Page of Wands in reverse, okay? Frustration, sometimes mild conflict, like some anger. It comes out with the World in reverse, okay? This is a little bit fitting what I've been seeing. And then I have the Six of Swords in reverse. That can be delays. I keep seeing like, I'm not going to go with like full-blown deprivation, but like things get held up a lot. Like there's a breakdown in the flow of things as we have known them to be. And that is because it's building a different form of flow. All right, Knight of Wands in the upright is moving forward on a creative project sometimes. It is drive, it is passion. I've got it with the King of Swords in reverse. That can be somebody lying, quite frankly. With the Skull energy, hidden secrets can harm you. The King of Swords is somebody who is sometimes misusing his words. Sometimes it's a verbal abuser. Sometimes it's just somebody who told like a great big whopping lie. I have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. It's the Wheel of Fate turning. I have that with the Four of Wands. Okay, that's the 11-11 card. By the way, I'm taking 11 cards on this for spirit messages. That is about home and hearth, and sometimes it's the twin flame energy. Sometimes it's about like gathering together, and sometimes it's celebration. That's coming out with the Queen of Cups in reverse, which for me, this can involve somebody's mom. The Queens in reverse can be an older woman sometimes. For me, this almost always means intuitive, being able to trust your gut. Sometimes it's like emotions rising to the surface as well. The Moon in the upright is like hidden forces and confusion. The Ace of Wands would have been next, and then on the back of the deck, I have Strength in reverse, which is a feeling of being vulnerable. Well, let's get talking about this. There is a little bit of peril ahead of us, is the thing. Chain of events, it is something over which you have no control. Release the idea that worrying about it is going to help anything. Just know that you have the ability to overcome whatever you need to, and it will just be a lot easier. I actually like the energy here. I like the energy here, but like it's something, it's like somebody else's lie. It does not appear to be personal. Like there are, it's almost like to reestablish stability, we have to go through a time of disruption. And it's got mild conflict without like major conflict around it, which is important to know. This is Soul's Density and Perseverance, one of my least favorite words these days. It is a Triumph over Adversity card, though. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. This time ahead of you is going to be a time where, like, if you've been trying to heal, if you've been trying to strengthen your relationship to self and belief in self, it may have been like kind of a bit of a training ground for what lies ahead. Your personal energy actually looks pretty good, pretty stable. Like this is a stable, happy energy. There is, as I said, it's like forgiveness. Acknowledging harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. I'm always telling trauma survivor, please don't pressure yourself to forgive, because we put so much pressure on people to forgive. You can't heal until you forgive. You know what? It's a little bit like the opposite. It is not actually your job to forgive, it's the divine's job. Your job is to heal, and when you are healed, you will forgive easily. Because like the injuries of the past no longer matter quite as much. Like it's like this black flower fragrance is finding the worth and the joy and the beauty without it needing to be like everything's perfect. everything that you've been through is starting to allow you to find your happiness despite like the world churning. And there's a little bit of world churn around here. Remember, I don't have any towers. I don't have any Three of Swords. I don't have anything that's alarming. But what I have is like this consequence energy. It's just, I have this consequence energy. We have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone with patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. The other thing I'm always trying to help people, like, you know, get a handle on is, and this is such a hard one for people who are in active pain to hear. The divine understands what it's doing. That does not mean the divine has brought you suffering. It doesn't. Most of our suffering is actually related to the choices that we make. And I always use myself as an example because it means that nobody else gets in trouble. But like, I went through like a hideous, hideous divorce in which I had to very much confront some truths about the person I had been married to. And it was very difficult. But realistically, I had known 10 years before I left that I needed to. I made everything a lot harder, a lot more difficult, and a lot more painful by not being able to accept that it's like, well, I need to leave this person. They aren't who they say they are. And I kept hoping that they would heal and change, and quite simply, they did not. In fact, they got worse and worse. But that's kind of neither here nor there, other than to say that even when we are facing struggles, even when we are facing suffering, please don't think it is the divine doing something to you. What happens with our spirit guides is they work with our choices, not the other way around, and they're always trying to bring us our best outcomes. This is a time of challenge and kind of a fateful time for the world overall, because that's the wheel of fate. And the moon is a time of confusion and things being hidden, but it's also like fateful forces and the goddess of the moon at work. Like, this is a very feminine, divine energy. I've got the fox. Your sharpened senses allow you to observe the actions of others. And then frog. Adapt and survive by accepting the inevitable and seizing the potential. I read a quote once, I think it was by Jeff Bezos, who's like, you know, a figure I'm not going to be talking about much here. But it was, don't fight the future, you will always lose. And that is very, very, very accurate. Don't fight the future, you will always lose. If things are changing, don't try to cling to things that are gone. Instead, figure out what you can do and enjoy and be and celebrate in whatever, because some things we have no control over. We make things worse by trying to control outcomes. That is one of the surrender energies and the kind of acceptance that the divine knows what it's doing. The divine is always trying to make things better for us. We as people can, it's that whole, you know, battle between the ego and the divine self. We as people become very wedded to the idea that we know what will make us happiest, and surrendering to the flow of the divine is trying to help you, not hinder you, can really, really help. And sometimes that forgiveness, perseverance, forgiveness, and pride and patience is sometimes the forgiveness that we need to extend the most is towards the idea that a divine power has it in for us. Like, start forgiving whatever has happened in your life. And that is not to say what happened in your life doesn't matter, or your suffering doesn't matter. It matters so much. It matters so much that you simply deserve to not be in pain any longer. And the easiest way to do that is to release the suffering of the past, knowing that likely in the here and now, nothing terrible has happened to you. If you are happening to you, if you are still suffering from the wounds of the past, that toxic relationship I was referring to, healing from that was terrible. But it's over. It's over. And now I look for the lessons and the ways in which it made me stronger. I will tell you that, like, every single reader that was like, you know, the divine spirit would never like do something to hurt you. Like, we have to be very careful with how we phrase things. When people are very actively in pain, really, don't be dismissive of other people's pain. It's very, very real and acutely agonizing. And it is reductive to try and suggest to somebody, that's that whole thing where everything has a lesson. Listen, let yourself heal and then look for the lesson. Go towards healing before you force yourself to forgive. Everything that you've done to make yourself stronger coming up, you're going to kind of roll with something so much more easily. Emotions are at their peak. Listen, I just see you on this really healing energy. Adapt and survive by accepting the inevitable and seizing potential. It's like this flowing roller coaster peaks and valleys energy. You've learned so many lessons and you do trust the process now. You do trust the process now. The moon, again, you will be guided through darkness. Now there is some darkness around us. Strength and wisdom came out from the Endor deck. Hey, one of the ways to try and like embrace the lesson is we release the pain. And again, it is never about like you being in pain doesn't matter, but rather you deserve to not be in pain. Like you are deserving of every good thing. You deserve not to hurt. And the easiest way to get there is to like go towards healing, go towards understanding the ways that sometimes we contribute to our own suffering, because we do. Like when I'm talking about like the things that hurt me the most in my adult life, it absolutely had to do with the men that I chose. Absolutely. And does that mean that I like, should I stay away from relationships? I don't know. I just haven't met like somebody that is worth spending time with in kind of a long time. But I like spending time with me. And that's really what healing is about, is not thinking that your answer lies in an exterior source, but knowing that your answers lie within. And when we're talking about what the dangers and perils are coming up, if you remember that, you remain stable and happy and very in touch with your own intuition. As the world kind of, swirls around you, focus on not the struggles that you have been through, but the fact that you got through them. And start investing in that. And that's the thing that's going to get you through. We have tribe members, ancestral healing. Apparently your sacred heart has undone the ties that bind. So, what are ancestral curses? It is generational trauma. Like if you were from an abusive family, it is likely that your parents were abused as well and they carried that forward. That is one form of generational curse, by the way. Poverty can be a generational curse. Trauma, alcoholism, addiction. We are able to release these as we go towards healing. Healing and understanding of self is the key to absolutely everything, because it's the key to peace. And there is not a peaceful energy going forward. There's a weird, disrupted, staggering, like, what's going on now type of energy. But you will be guided through darkness with strength and wisdom. And as other people have, people are going to be very reactionary. People are going to be very reactionary. If you've been doing a lot of work on learning how to respond and not react, and appropriately, not by masking negative feelings. And that is what that rush to forgiveness energy can do to people, is it makes them falsely believe, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. Let yourself actually heal, which can involve grieving and crying and being like, how could you? And then realizing that, well, realistically, it was because of my upbringing. Realistically, it was because of my formative damage. If I understand what that did to me, I can simply make better choices going forward, and it is never, ever too late to be the best and the strongest version of you. The greater world has challenges around it, and it almost feels like it's going to provide you with an opportunity to view the challenges that you've had differently. Like, as other people who really can't handle a lot of disruption, who are very much wedded to the idea of things have to stay the same forever so that I can feel safe, and the world just does not work that way. Never fight the future, you will always lose. It does not work that way. Whenever somebody says to me, I hate change, I'm like, oh my goodness, you're in for it. Because the world is ever changing, and it needs to be, because that's what growth is. Growth needs change. That's what prosperity is. Prospering is something flourishing and growing. And change is growth. Sorry, we're closed. Apparently, if they were sorry, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Good luck, and then star quality. Okay, now the only thing I've got is that you're going to be a little bit beset, because I do have you in this very healed, in touch with your own energy, your own intuition, your own guidance system, this black flower fragrance, you really have, you've achieved it. You've gotten there. You're at the point in a journey where you get that you're your biggest tool and your biggest protector and your biggest defender. and you don't look to the exterior world to settle down into this like never varying shape to be okay, you know that it's you who does all of that. The only thing I have is that people try to put a few too many demands on you. King of Swords in reverse. And I've got somebody coming back into your life. Like somebody, potentially somebody who hurt you, if they were sorry, because they understand that someone is behaving stupidly. Hidden secrets can harm you. Tough and trying times. Well, we kind of knew that already. And then I never read these paragraphs because they almost never have any validity, but these keywords always do for me. It is almost like forgiveness. The more disruption there is in the world, the more likely it is that somebody who used to rely on you but treated you poorly is going to try and find a way to, like I almost want to say, worm their way back in. You can forgive somebody without allowing them access. Communication, intuition, change, opportunities, one more time, future, I want one more, surprise. That's really what I've got. It could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be a coworker, it could be somebody who quite simply, like they understand that you're the most likely person to see a path. They understand that you're the person who's most likely to have things figured out. And they want, this person's not telling the truth. That's one of the dangers and perils that lies ahead. Is somebody who, and I don't think they're asking for a second chance if it was a romantic relationship, but like they might be like, you know, I realize how badly I behaved. I hope you can forgive me. They might even be like, here's an olive branch. And you can forgive them, but you don't need to give them the benefit of who you are if you don't wish to. Like you don't owe that to somebody as an act of forgiveness and compassion. It's a returning energy as well. Be careful, somebody with not great motives. Adapt and change, and then what is this? Your sharpened senses allow you to, it's somebody, fox, crafty bugger. Okay, pardon me, if you're from a country where that's like a really bad swear word, I apologize. That's it. Somebody who deceived you in the past wants the benefit of your ability to figure things out. Because like that star quality card, it is highly apparent who you are. It is highly apparent who you are. It always was to them. It always was. It always was, no matter how badly they treated you, particularly there at the end. They always knew who you were. They might have started convincing themselves that they were the person doing things, but they know a lot better by now. We have important conversation, family concerns, unexpected message, healthy boundaries, manifest, closure. You can get the last word in something. And it's not vindictive and it's not unkind. But the dangers and perils lie ahead in, you might actually be a little bit too forgiving sometimes. Like you might think that that's the test of a good person. Is like, we all have struggles, like viewing everybody compassionately. Please hear me on this. Loyalty, release. You do not owe this person. You do not owe this person. Group number 2, that is the bulk of the message that you are receiving. Yeah, the world's going to go a little bit wackadoodle, but you know that part already. I'm not telling you anything that comes as like a complete shock to you. Because you are this person, when this person attempts to, you can let them make amends, but you don't owe them anything, okay? Group number 2, that was your message. Take care. Be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 3, then this is your reading. We're putting the number 3 over there so people can fast forward easily to it, even though I'm juggling it. There are also timestamps in the description box down below. Tower of the Night is bringing us a predictive spread. These are the oracle cards. We'll get some more depending on the nature, what the reading reveals. Remember, this is what dangers and peril lie in wait on your journey. And I did it because I tried to film on what's the rest of 2022 going to be like. And I decided to scrap that reading, and I was kind of told to do it this way instead. So remember, this isn't about being afraid, it's about being forewarned so that you can dig deep and find your strength. Before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below. Get back to basics. All right. Diamond. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Now this is interesting because I took these fortune reading cards and I do have them separated into like sort of positive and like challenging attributes. And then discord among friends or family. Let's take a look at this. Diamonds, of course, are enduring. The discord among friends or family is the only thing that I'm picking up, and then getting back to basics. Remember, prioritizing preservation of self may be important going forward. Honor Gaia. This is a grounding energy. A card about making sure you kind of get back to your roots as well. It is the divine feminine energy. I have darkness, long night moon, which is darkness. That is part of the reason I ended up doing this reading, is there is an area, like the rest of the world seems to have a kind of, there's some conflict, and it's not catastrophic, so don't overinvest in it, but like dark times are a little bit of coming, and we need to be able to prepare. And so these are the ones that are showing up here. Obsession. Remember, OCD is a trauma response sometimes, where we do things compulsively in patterns. This could be warning you about a tendency towards codependency. Remember that working on your root chakra, aligning all of your chakras can help as well, but also that a dark time may trigger that. A fearful energy can trigger past patterns. I've got a lot of people who had to heal from CPTSD and PTSD, which involves this compulsive obsessive thing. And it's about trying to do things ritualistically to try and achieve a feeling of safety. And half the time it becomes locked into this very rigid energy, and it does more damage than good. And please remember that all you really need to be safe is you. Get back to basics, honor Gaia, darkness, the discord, family and friends and family. There's a lot of discord in the world. I have obedience. All right. And then I have infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. Honest to goodness, your energy looks good. It almost looks like people turn to you a lot for answers. Be careful, particularly if you also read tarot. Don't obsessively look for answers. Don't try and be controlling. That is not safety. It's just not. Belief in self is safety. Understanding, because that's the thing that's always gotten you through. That's the thing that has always gotten you through everything, is your ability to dig deep and find yourself. Let's get going. I actually shuffled this quite a bit off camera because I'm using the same deck for all readings. Let's get going for pile number 3. What danger and peril might lie in wait? And I'm not doing this to be negative. I'm not a very negative reader. It's just that I did have a strange result on that remainder of 2022 energy. And so I figured I might as well do it with the focus that was coming out in the cards anyway. Here we go. I have the 10 of Cups in the upright. That's a fulfillment card. It's a life partner card. It can be marriage as well. With the 4 of Cups in reverse. This can be being haunted by old issues. It can be things happening in the background. It comes out with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, which is a card of confusion and insecurity. I think that like the markets are going to do some very, very strange things. But it looks to me like you're kind of in, like if anything, it serves you well. 9 of Swords in the upright is fears. It can be crying. It can be cruelty. It can be sleeplessness, but it's coming out with the Knight of Cups in the upright. That discord in family and friends is really being like there may be a family situation that you will have to prioritize self and take good care of self. The star in the upright, it's a card of dreams coming true. It's a card of faith and hope. That comes out with the Seven of Cups in the upright, which is sometimes fantasy and illusion. Be careful. Remember, one of the things about like codependency is people invest in what they hope somebody is. This can be investing in hopes rather than reality. Be careful with that, particularly if you're just getting back into dating or something after recovering from toxic relationships. I don't really have a reason to believe that. This comes out with the Six of Wands in the upright, which is moving on and progress. It's a social media star card. It's a graduation card. It's a movement card and a success card. Like something is going to take off for you and really take root for you. But the rest of the world is a little bit like wackadoodle. And like it's like somebody's putting unfair pressure on you. I have the Two of Pentacles in the upright, which is a balanced state, with the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, which is kind of that energy of like the Earth Mother energy, being able to do it all. It can also be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. One of the ways to get through some stress from the exterior world, because there is financial instability, and honest to goodness, it's like people keep looking to you for like stability. People, particularly who are used to relying on you in times of trouble, have good boundaries. Just have good boundaries, balance frequently. There is a challenge to everyone's happiness coming up. And that comes out with the Knight of Swords in reverse. That can be a conflict energy. It can be an anger energy. It can be ill-considered actions as well. Let's get going. Okay, so what I've kind of got here is that you have everything to keep you happy, but you need to focus on what's going on in your world versus the overall world. The obedience is have discipline around your habits for energetic management and energetic and emotional wellness. Be careful, because people in the past who have known they can take advantage of you, apparently like they want to. They want to, and it's going to be up to you to kind of, you're never meant to give to the point that you are like kind of depleting yourself. Making sure that you keep your things in balance will keep you out of this energy and out of this energy. Because you really might have like, you know, codependence involves a dependency, but it is also an obsessive energy. It's not always addiction. It's not. Half the time it does have to do with a traumatic emotional wound that causes people to do things obsessively, thinking that one thing has their answer. I don't have a romantic pairing here except for the Knight of Cups in the upright can sometimes be somebody coming in. And that really might be what we're dealing with here, because the Six of Wands as well. And ill-considered actions with that Knight of Swords in reverse. Let's see what we've got here. Is this really going to be like a romantic pairing coming in and it's going to trigger old stuff? I don't have a trigger card here. This is the one that's really like, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Honest to goodness, the only thing I'm not super digging here is that people are putting too many demands on you. We have balance. Balance is here and here. I have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And worry. I want one more. Courage. Listen, it's weird. That Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You look good. Like abundance is coming to you. But the greater world is not looking so super awesome with that Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's also a card of confusion. And then failure, worry, and courage. Honest to goodness, it's like you go into an OCD spiral trying to seek safety and answers. And you're just going to have to be very, like, keep a checklist around how you maintain emotional wellness, basically. What else have I got here? Obedience, like a method that keeps you healthy through a dark time. And is it a dark time? A little bit. Like I kind of knew that when I started, because I'm not a gloom and doom reader ever. But I kind of understood that there was something darker on the horizon. Here we go. We've got sucker free. It's like a gossip. What else have I got here? Hell no. Okay, good boundaries. Narcissist. Spiritual gangster. Honest to goodness, like I said, it's like somebody is trying to take advantage of you in a way that they have been used to. The friends and family card thing suggests that it might be a family member or somebody who you've previously been involved with. I like that there is, like, there's a lot of happiness energy, but it involves you needing to dig deep and adhere to methods around that. Remember, like, part of the way to overcome this obsessive compulsive energy is to turn towards healthy patterning, like choosing your emotional direction, mood management, recognizing when you're chasing your own tail and choosing to go and do something else, doing an emotional and an energetic reset. And it looks like there's plenty of reason for you to do that. Always assess your world, not the greater world, for your safety, and know that you are the thing that keeps you safe. Let's go 1 and 2. Let's get a fortune card here. Honest to goodness, like, I've got this, it's weird they're not here, but it's like this person is counting on something from you. Key, new beginnings and directions and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. Goals, progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. Moon, pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. You're doing well, but other people aren't. And it causes, like, it's like somebody, like, understands something about you. They understand how to push buttons. And you may be encountering, is it the exact same person or is it the same type of person? Remember, energy signatures repeat. That's why we get the until you repair it, you will repeat it thing. And then the diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Honest to goodness, it's like you're thriving while other people are struggling to survive. And it's both wonderful, but it causes, it has its own, like, everything has a balancing energy to it. And it has its own little backswing with it. It is a financial, it looks like a financial deprivation energy. This is a lack of financial security. This is a fears card. But your energy looks like just beautiful, except for this ill-considered action thing. Like, you're going to have to, emotions are at their peak. Water, you're just going to have to prioritize self and defense of self as well. Remember, if somebody tries to threaten you with something, look deep at what they've done and remember that you are a warrior in your own right. The stars, a long journey brings rewards. The wolf, beware who you trust. And I'm getting that over and over again with the oracles, seek wisdom and guidance from elders. And did you have the gossip card with that as well? Go back to basics, the narcissist, gossip, hell no. I've got this string pulling energy, and it's weird they're not coming out as a figure here. But it's like people from your, like, this past energy are trying to, they're trying to make you dance to a tune. And it's not a threat, like it's a, there's a creepier energy to that. Like it's somebody trying to appeal to, it's somebody who's trying to appeal to your heart because they know that you've been a soft touch in the past. And I'm not sure what's going on with them. I'm not sure what's going on with them. I don't know that it's necessary, like I don't have an apology card necessarily, but what I have is like somebody, and it looks to me like you resist it well, but this get back to basics energy and this discord among family, friends or family, honest to goodness, like the only thing that you face is that like somebody, like there's this, like, it's not even a devious or a duplicitous energy, it's a like a manipulative one. Friends and colleagues, again, taking risks, loss, Joyous fun, and I want one more on that, new beginnings. You look great, but the people around you don't. Like the people around you, it looks like they risked something they should not. And it's like they're trying to appeal to your, because like they just know you've got this really good heart. That's what that sucker-free energy appears to be about, is like somebody is trying to, failure, worry, courage, trust. Somebody's trying to pluck at your heartstrings. Balance. Somebody's trying to pluck at your heartstrings. That's the only energy that I have around, like, what do you need to be worried about? That as like things are going a little bit sideways in the greater world, people who have known you in the past, although I don't have the Six of Cups here, I have that abundance is pouring through. You're just gonna have to have the ability to spot the worm in the apple, you know. It's going to be a little bit challenging for you because the world does not feel as like solid as you like it to. Gossip, one link of a chain can't rattle by itself. Honest to goodness, what I've got here is not a bad energy, but it's a little bit around beware who you trust. Make sure that you are grounding so much. It helps you more than you realize. Like if you watch me on a regular basis and you're like, oh my God, take a drink every time. No, don't. You'll be dead if you take a drink every time she says the word grounding. It's because it is one of the best things to do for anxiety. You actually do really well, but you need to remember you learned methods around how to do that. You learned the ways in which to be fully self-protective. And I can't tell if it's an entirely new person or if it's an old person, but I kind of feel like it's an old person is trying to, it's like they always manipulated you that way. Strength just fell out literally on the floor. It's like they always manipulated you in a very particular way by appealing to, like, they just understand what kind of heart you have. And I don't know what they're asking. You just are kind of being asked to kind of don't take any guff from somebody. We have coming to life, movement, lots of good movement for you. Storm fields, well, we knew that part. Spirit of place, and I want one more. Coming apart, yeah. Heal the ouch, and then magical map shifter. There is a weird and like fractious energy in the world around us. There is like people have a lot of fears, and a lot of people, for whatever reason, they're looking to you as a problem solver. And then I have this weird energy of potentially a family member, potentially a former partner, who just, that's the person who you get the most warnings around. Is like, forgiveness does not, and compassion is not the same thing as access. Forgiveness is not the same thing as access. You're doing super well, and it's a little bit obvious, and so it does it because that's a social media card, and we had movement as well. Things look good for you, but like there's somebody who, I don't like the energy around the forces that try to, it's like you've always attracted predators. And you have to adhere to a method in order to make sure that this is the energy that you, like, you don't, like I said, you're not a sucker. Like you're not going to allow anybody to plug into you any longer. And could it be the same person, or is it a different person? You're such a different person that it kind of doesn't matter. It kind of doesn't matter. But I've got it like in this weird, like you overcome it, but because you're aware that it's almost like this heads up helps. That the attempts like might have like not fallen on deaf ears if it wasn't like, I saw you coming. All right, here we go. We have kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. Hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. Twin flames, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. And then lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. That gaslighting energy is present, and that there does appear to be potentially a new romantic interest as well. But it's weird. It's like dealing with something, it's adhering to method in order to maintain a healthy energy. Let's get going here. I've been kind of trying to keep these brief as well. Let's go with the Infinity Oracle. Is there anything else that we need to know? You're just getting a little bit of a heads up around, remember that spider tried to catch you in its web before. And is it possible that there's going to be somebody who tries to entrap you in the same way? Yes. Take your time with anything if you've had to heal. Don't rush into anything. Karmic lesson, regain balance. So much about balance. Karmic partner, open up. Signs from nature, so much about nature as well. Apology, be careful, big success. Oh my goodness. Question somebody's motives. Okay? That's the biggest energy that is coming through here. Let's finish up with, what are we going to finish up with here? Let's get some fortune reading cards. What perils, what dangers might lie in wait for group number 3? Somebody with suspect motives that you overcome easily, but you need to be aware. You need to be aware. You just need to be aware. Don't forget that get back to basics energy. Don't forget. Don't forget. That person never has good motives. Never. It's like they were born without good motives. And it's weird. I don't have any of the cards that are scare me. Like the Emperor in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, the Devil card. You're healed. Just remember that that person is weird and likes to motivate other people. They're very, very deeply manipulative. I have travel, I have signs, I have burnout, be careful with your health. Communication, achievement, health again, wisdom, and I want one more, challenges, nature. I never read these paragraphs because they never have any validity for me. For different readers, everyone has a different relationship to their cards. I have the strangest energy around somebody simply trying to, it's not make you feel guilty, it's make you feel sorry for them. And they know how to do that. They know how to do that. Don't get involved with that person again. And it's not the same person as the romantic interest, by the way. There's no way in the world that you would, if what I'm picking up here is accurate, you're fine. But it took you a while to heal from this person, and you had to do it through a method. Just have your guard up. Adhere to your methods in order to keep yourself safe. Very successful energy around you. You have really good energy, but the world is challenged and weird. And there's shortages or something, because there's a weird deprivation energy while you have a feeling of influx and plenty. And somebody knows how to pull a string around that, okay? All right, so group number 3, that was the what dangers or perils might lie in wait. You can handle this. You know how to do this. Take care. Be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 4, then this is your reading. We're putting the number 4 over there so that people can easily find it by fast forwarding, but the timestamps are in the description box down below. The Tower of the Night has been bringing us all of the predictive spreads. I did shuffle like extensively off camera, and I will only shuffle for a bit here. So I just wanted to make sure the cards have been thoroughly cleared of the energy of the last pile. Before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. This is what perils or dangers might be coming up. And the reason I'm filming it is I did a what is going to happen between now and the end of 2022 reading, and boy was it strange, indicating that there was like kind of a lot going on, and I scrapped the reading and kind of asked what I was supposed to do instead, and this is what came out. You don't need to be afraid. This is not a gloom and doom reading. Remember, forewarned is forearmed. We have scissors, disappointment in some affair. Okay. And then I have casket, someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Okay. Hopefully anybody who is watching a perils and dangers reading is prepared for the fact that this may not be the best news. I have wall, misunderstanding. Okay. From the tea leaf deck, I kind of separate them into like challenges and kind of blessings. And this is from the challenges deck. I have time to reflect. Okay. I have acceptance. Something is ending in your life. I'm not sure what it is yet. This does say someone going out of your life or the end of a situation, and it's disappointing. We have fragmentation. That's a fragmented energy. It's the need to reassess. It's the need to regroup. I have individuality. Okay. And then I have unknown territory. You're exactly where you need to be. So group number 4. There may be an ending in your, I'm not sure if it's your personal or your professional life. Disappointment in some affair. Time to reflect. Acceptance. Remember, if something didn't work out, it's not a judgment of you. Like, it just means that it wasn't for you. And we always try to look at the lessons that we can learn from the things that don't go super well. But I'm not sure what this pertains to yet. And I know that all of the other piles have been showing like a bit of a conflict energy and a not great energy around the financial world. So 5 of Cups in the upright is in fact a loss. It can be grieving or mourning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's see what this is. I'm going to stop talking until I get all the tarot cards down, because this is a slightly difficult one. I have the King of Swords in reverse, which is sometimes it's an uncomfortable truth, sometimes it's a lie being revealed. This could be the greater world. I have the 9 of Wands in the upright, which is a call for strong boundaries. I have the World in the upright. There's almost nothing I dislike more than that stupid motorcycle bar at the end of the road where there's also a vegan restaurant, and they go roaring up and down the street, compensating for something, I'm absolutely sure. We have the 2 of Wands in the upright, which is committing to a plan, but it is a lot of things being available to us. It is also travel. There's loss here, but it's not terrible. There's the Devil in the upright. Capricorn card, but it's also a card of a relationship to a person, place, or thing that is not serving us. I have the 8 of Pentacles in the upright, which is lessons learned, mastering something, gaining skills. We have the Tower in the upright. It can be failure of something. This is a tough one. I have the 4 of Cups in reverse. Hidden blessings. That's one of the meanings. The Emperor in the upright. Card for Aries. It's also the card for personal power. It's also the card for the wisdom of Solomon. 3 of Wands in reverse. The Fool would be next in this card deck. And then the back of the deck energy is the 4 of Pentacles, which is being very guarded. All right. So here's the thing. It does appear as if there is a relationship in your life that is coming, like there's going to be some clarity around it. The Tower in this instance, remember the premise behind the Tower is anything built on a faulty foundation must fall. Something it appears to be will be released from your life. Individuality is accepting your own personal power. The Emperor is about your own personal power. This is not like a deprived energy, meaning that like there's no, you don't need to worry about your personal safety or your personal well-being, or it looks like even your financial health. But the greater world has a lot going on in it. And then there's also kind of a release around expectations around something. Like where you are accepting the nature of something. The casket energy, of course, is we're going to get some more cards down here. Can I get what the perils and dangers coming up for group number 4 are? Listen, I'm just trying to read the cards honestly, and I like it, by the title of this particular reading, it just was never going to be great news. So, worry. I accept that I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. It really doesn't. Acceptance twice. I have discipline, growth, and I want one more, freedom. Releasing expectations around something, and it may actually be a personal relationship, is the thing that is going to lead to a brighter future for you. I don't have like anything terribly jarring happening, but I have this weird definitive ending energy. And then a misunderstanding. I'm going to go for some Infinity Oracle cards here. If a relationship is leaving your life, and I don't really necessarily have this as a personal relationship, you are exactly where you need to be in freedom. We can try our hardest to make something the right fit for us, but sometimes it's just not. And ultimately, the only way for us to have what really is worthy of us is to let go of that which is unworthy. And here's the thing, aside from like a bit of grief, we have soulmate, I have this very accepting energy around something. With the 4 cups, there's something happening in the background. Soulmate, new love, healing old wounds, inner healing, speak your truth, hot and cold. Speak your truth can be learning the truth. I have something ever so slightly personally difficult. And I don't have the heartbreak card. I don't have a lot of the cards that I associate with general unhappiness. But like I have this understanding of letting something go entirely. And could it be like very literal where like somebody's not around any longer? Listen, like different readers have different like beliefs on that. I'm not going to say that definitively. I'm just not. But like there's a definitive ending to something. And it does not appear to be, it does not break your heart. It just doesn't break your heart. Remember, soulmates can be friends. The new love and healing old wounds, it's like almost allowing something to pass into memory. And it might actually be this disappointment. Like it really might be, honest to goodness, it almost looks as if this isn't anything emotionally upsetting as much as it is that maybe you've been holding up something bad that happened as a shield against something else. Meaning moving forward, allowing more. Even when we feel from pain, sometimes we can stop ourselves from having more. We have the Spirit, unseen forces watch over you, the Dragon, strength and wisdom. I have the Queen, love and prosperity. The Key, locked doors can now be opened, authority and diplomacy. It's almost like in order, like you don't want to accept something new into your life because of a finality around something else. That's that hot and cold energy. It really is. Locked doors can now be open, love and prosperity. Everything looks good for you. Everything looks good for you, but there is a finality around something, about moving on from something. A misunderstanding of something. The Tower is a card of divine intervention. Sometimes things get put in our path to help us, even if it felt like a great big hindrance. It was because we needed to learn something. And the healing old wounds, it's like you're healed. It's like you're healed. I have Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Chariot, stay strong and focused. Charge ahead with confidence. Star, hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness and positivity. You know, it's the weirdest thing, because this thing that you're putting to rest, because I have just zero grief around it. Fragmentation. I have zero grief around the need to let go of something from the past, but I have resistance. I have resistance around the Wounded Warrior card is the Nine of Wands. The world has a strange energy, but you can't remain in place. That wasn't the lesson. We are meant to continue to go forward. Ancestor Spirit Chain, hell yes. It's funny, sometimes we can get over grief more easily than we can disappointment. Real love. Sorry, we're closed. Good luck, and I want one more on that star quality. Two different cards of star quality. Do not hold on to a definition. Don't hold on to a definition. Disappointment in some affair has, like, your time to reflect. Honest to goodness, I think the thing that is leaving your life is, like, you protect yourself with your disappointment. That it's almost like you will block out more. Because you don't want, like, you're very risk averse. You're very risk averse. Because you think letting go of something, you've learned how to protect yourself with something from the past, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was heartbreak. All I can tell here is that, like, you need to make a choice. This is a card of choices and plans. This grieving energy about relationships that don't serve us and having been lied to. Boy, even if somebody betrayed your trust at every single known level, and that is like, you're like, yep, no, never doing that again. At some point you become the person who's hurting you. Do you know what I mean? That, like, even if you've had, like, hideous monster beasts in the past, if it's the reason you won't go forward again, after a while, that's your choice. I have Autumn. In the fall season, everything comes together and you reap wonderful harvests of abundance. With your wishes granted, what you've asked for is coming true. Those are very, very positive. This energy is really perplexing me. It is really genuinely perplexing me, because it is not, there is no heartbreak here, but there is the need to allow something to pass into memory so that more flourishing energy can come in. And you've got this really nice, like, financial energy. You've got this success and, like, financial freedom. but like it's almost like you won't drop your boundaries for anything or anyone anymore, like at all. And the divine is trying to tell you something here, which is that it's not everything's going to be taken away from you. Nothing's going to be taken away from you. It is that if they have to, they'll upset your apple cart again in order to make you reconsider something. That's that Tower energy. And you're not in any way being threatened. You're just being reminded that let go of the past. Let go of the past. This is focusing on the wrong things. This person is focusing on what they don't have rather than what they do. This is something hidden, underlying things. It's like talisman is wisdom. You learned a lesson, come together, balancing act. Rock bottom, goblins, that's fears. Ghostlands, good gravy, sacred pool. Okay. The divine never forces anything. The divine never forces us to do anything. But like the peril and the danger is your relationship to self and self-protection might actually be the relationship that isn't serving you any longer. Disappointment, that's what it is. This isn't another person. This is not another person. Acceptance, worry, acceptance, discipline, growth, and freedom. Something big is going to change for you, and it appears to be entirely positive. But you're almost going to be thwarting yourself, and nothing's going to be forced. You genuinely don't have to be like, "What are they going to do to me now?" It's just that you're really being asked to remember that you're stunting your growth. You're just stunting your growth. And it's not a criticism. It is a reminder. The fragmented energy and then the Tower. And like it's like something powerful is going to try and help you release something. The misunderstanding, it's you learned the wrong lesson. You took away the wrong lesson. You took away the wrong lesson. I'm going to keep drawing cards here. If it's not incredibly clear, I'm a tiny bit baffled by this one. The time to reflect. You're being asked to do a little bit of soul searching here about what you really think a powerful energy is. Because like I said, if they have to, they'll upset your apple cart. And like that's not as bad as it sounds. It's just not as bad as it sounds. It's just you learned so many of the right lessons. And then you learned how to shield yourself. You're so self-protective now that you are diminishing something. Walking away, okay? Happy family. Caring connections. Appreciation. Moon holding coin attachment. There's a different form of codependency that you are not considering. And that is you are overly reliant on the idea that only you can keep you safe. That being by yourself is that's kind of what the energy is. It's group number 4, so I should have guessed already. It's the group that gets in their head and shuts things out to try and find relief and respite and freedom. You're not free, you're in a different jail. You're not free, you're in a different jail. Listen, the perils and the challenges are like almost nothing for you. Like you're in this great, like, you know, everything looks good for you. Everything looks good for you in terms of stability and strength and having good choices available to you. But like you will, like you've got a fixed menu. You've got a fixed menu. You're allowing too little. You're just allowing too little. I've gotten this kind of message before, and that Tower's like a surprise. Lightning. Oh, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation, keys on a ring, many options, decision, coffin. Girl talk. The runner. You've turned into the runner. You've turned into the runner. Like you've turned into the runner. You went backwards. You've gone backwards. You're not thinking of it that way, but the level at which you do not connect with people, and if you think back, like you likely were the runner long, long ago. Something went wrong. You may have trusted the wrong person. You may have had the wrong relationship. There was a misunderstanding in the lesson that you learned. And the way that you approach connection is not growth. It's not. You went backwards. You went backwards. You didn't used to trust anybody, and you might have trusted the wrong person. You might have trusted the wrong person. So what's the peril? Is that you're very, very, very invested and interested in learning your lessons and evolving and growing. And you're not being told that, like when I keep saying they might upset your apple cart, like that to you feels like you're being threatened, because it's like no frickin' more. That's not what they mean. That's not what they mean. You went backwards. Twists and turns. Unknown territory, you're exactly where you mean to be. Acceptance. Time to reflect and fragmentation. You think you healed, but you didn't. You did heal, but then your quest for safety returns you to something. Opportunities. It returns you to a runner's energy. That's a fear of intimacy energy. If you used to have a fear of abandonment and something went wrong, you now, like, you fear intimacy more than anything. That's what you think. It's that you can't trust anybody, and it's not. It's that you're failing to trust you. Burnout, which is about letting things go and taking care with your health. Surprise. Love life. Future. I want one more on that. Declutter, which is let go. And then there was commitment after that. Group number 4, they can't ever force anything. They can't force anything. But the message that you got here is that you're safe. As the world is like, and there's like financial weirdness, but you think that you healed, and you did, and you're very strong, and you're very independent, and you're very individuality and acceptance. Group number 4, this is they just give this message for group number 4 so many times. You're blocking out other human beings, and you don't think of it this way, but it's a runner's energy. You're not protecting yourself. You won't let anybody in anymore. You accidentally went backwards. You got to this place where you were open, and like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Like, you were all like, I'm all in, I invest in this, and then the disappointment of something, has caused you to go backwards, and you don't think of it that way. You've regressed into an energy where, fine, I will only rely on myself and I'll never trust another person. And please just hear this part. you're not being menaced with you will have to reincarnate and come back, which is apparently like one of the biggest fears. That you're like, I hate it here, let me out of this darn place. You're not being menaced with having to come back, but would you please reflect on what you're being told? You don't let anybody in. And that actually is you from a long time ago, before you did a bunch of healing work. And if you don't know how to let people in any longer, you just start by trying, okay? Something's coming along that is going to help with that. But you're getting this message beforehand, not because they're going to blow up your life again, but because you will retreat from the idea of connecting to somebody. Because you went backwards, you became the runner again. And you don't let anybody connect to you. And that is not safety, that is fear, okay? So group number 4, that was like, just keep it in mind, and you can do whatever you want, and you need to hear this part. You're not being threatened. You're not being scolded, and you're not being told you're doing it wrong. You're being told you're actually a really, really, really happy person. And you won't let yourself be any longer because you think that that's the way that you can stay safe. And it isn't. It isn't. You didn't like that version of you. Try not to be that version. Try not to be. And you're not being told you're getting anything wrong. You do, like you're like the most diligent human being on the face of the earth in so many freaking ways. But listen to that part and don't think you're being criticized and don't think you're being scolded. Really try to detach from self for a moment. You already know what this yields because you've already done it when you wouldn't connect to anybody, okay? There's an opportunity coming up. Let go of all the things that hurt you in the past. Let this be different. Let yourself have hope again, okay? Take care. Be well.